Hello, I'm glad to see you back again today. In this episode, I'm going to rank all Halloween movies. Each and every Halloween season, I like to watch a horror movie almost every day, and I like to include some small little projects within these sessions. September, October is where I start watching horror movies, and yeah, a couple years ago I watched all the Friday the 13th movies and then all the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, and last year I watched all the Halloween movies. So what better time now to rank them all? But before I get started, the timeline of the Halloween movies can get really confusing. But I found this chart here online, which is doing a great job explaining the timeline. As you can see, you have 3 timelines, and then you have the 2 remakes standing on its own, and then you have 1 standalone movie as well. And yeah, I think this chart is doing a great job explaining the timelines, and I will reference some of these in my ranking list, so this is why I wanted to show you this. So let's start with just my least favorite Halloween movie. It's Halloween 2 from 2009. It's the second Rob Zombie movie, and I don't like it at all. I don't like the tone. It's too dark and grim and gritty. The violence, the way they're doing it is too disturbing and doesn't fit to the rest of the franchise, and the story is just all over the place with plot holes, and it's really strange, and I don't like it. It's my least favorite Halloween movie, unfortunately. Next up, we have Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, which is from 1995. This was the last, or one of the last roles of Donald Pleasence, one of my favorite actors, and he was reprising his role as one of his most famous roles as Dr. Sam Loomis. We also have Paul Rudd in here, so 2 great actors which I really like, but unfortunately they can't save this movie here. It has that cheap TV movie look, if you know what I mean, and the story is the first, as you can see in the timeline here, the first timeline. You have 4, 5, and 6. They have this over-the-top story where they kind of explain Michael Myers originates from that cult. And this is something I really don't like, and in the 6th movie you have lots of these cult things going on in here, which are, again, it's so silly and I really don't like it. So yeah, let's go over to place number 9, which is Halloween Resurrection from 2002, which is another Halloween movie unfortunately I don't like, even though it includes Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode. But right from the beginning you have 2 kind of twists and turns. One I liked, the other one I didn't like so much, and this was right off the beginning and at the beginning of the movie, and then it has a weird turn. It tries something new, which you could say is something good, but it's so over the top, it doesn't take anything serious, and the look, the optic, again, the way it looks is something I don't like so much in the movie. Yeah, so it's one of my least favorite Halloween movies. Next up is Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers from 1989. It's the last 80s Michael Myers movie. Again, it's in the cult trilogy, so I don't like the story. And the look also, again, it looks a bit cheaper than the other Halloween movies. It has some cool scenes here and there. It includes Donald Pleasence, which is cool. He has some cool moments. And it has some cool 80s moments shining through here and there. But again, it's one of my least favorite Halloween movies. Next up, we have Rob Zombie's Halloween from 2009. And the first half, he's trying to do something new. He's trying to explore the past of Michael Myers and giving him a motive. And I think it's cool that you see Michael Myers' past and that they try to give him a bit more of a backstory, but at the same time, it's so realistic. It's about all these gruesome things that we have in real life. And yeah, I don't like it so much. And the second half is just a remake of the first original Halloween movie, almost a 1-by-1, shot-by-shot remake. So I think it is okay, it's in the middle there, but yeah, it's not my favorite Halloween movie, obviously. Next up we have Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers from 1988, which has Donald Pleasence reprising his role as Dr. Sam Loomis, and I love the beginning of the movie, the title cards, the first shots of the suburbs and farms, where they have decorations going on. It's really eerie, spooky, and sets the Halloween atmosphere. That's my favorite part, the first couple of minutes of the movie. And then throughout the movie it has some cool ideas and parts, but this was the first one where it looked a bit cheaper, like a TV special, where they started the cult story, which I don't like so much. And you have Michael Myers' niece playing in here, and it's an on and off. It's not a bad movie, it's an okay movie, an okay sequel. I think back then people loved it because they brought back Michael Myers. I come to this in a moment, I explain this in a couple of moments here, but yeah, I think it's an okay Michael Myers movie. It's not bad, but it's not the best one. Next up is Halloween 2 from 1981. It's the first sequel of the original Halloween movie, and I really like it. It's a direct continuation of the story, so it just picks up where the first one leaves us, with a cliffhanger, with an open ending. You see Michael Myers running through the suburbs, killing people, and you see Laurie Strode, played by Jamie Lee Curtis, getting hospitalized, and then the movie, after a couple of moments, plays in that hospital. Really claustrophobic, awesome, iconic moments in here. I like the soundtrack, I like the atmosphere, and it's a good sequel. I like it. Next up, we have Halloween from 2018, the third attempt of rebranding the franchise. And this is the first time that they ignored the silly sequels, 4, 5, and 6, the cult stuff, over-the-top stuff, as well as the gruesome remakes that are so dark and gritty and realistic. So they created the third timeline, which is the current timeline, Halloween, and then comes Halloween from 2018, which is a direct sequel to the first one. It plays 40 years after the first one. But what I love the most about this, the story is good, but the thing that I love the most about this movie is the soundtrack. It's made by John Carpenter, which is awesome. He was the original director and creator of the soundtrack of the original Halloween movie, and the soundtrack is a 10 out of 10. It's such a masterpiece. I listen to this frequently. I love the music of John Carpenter, and the soundtrack here is great. It brings back Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode. It brings back other characters from the cast of the original Halloween without spoiling anything here. And yeah, I really like the story, the way they tell it 40 years after the original. There's one twist around the end, the last act, which I don't like so much in the movie, but other than that, the atmosphere is great, the kills are great, they're not too gritty and realistic, and they're not too silly. It's just a perfect balance here, and I like it. It's a great movie. It's my second or third favorite Michael Myers movie. My second favorite Michael Myers movie is Halloween Age 20 from 1998, or Halloween 7 as I like to call it. And I have some nostalgic memories about this movie. Back then my uncle was still around, and we were talking about this movie just right when it came out, and watching it back then, it was so awesome. I really like it. They planned to let John Carpenter direct this one, but unfortunately he didn't. He decided not to, but it still is a great movie. It has Jamie Lee Curtis reprising her role as Laurie Strode in here. It has that Wes Craven Scream mid to late 90s atmosphere, which is awesome. It's a glove that fits the franchise really well, and it's my second favorite Michael Myers movie. It's a great movie. I love the atmosphere. I like the setting and everything. I like the story. It has some twists which I like. And it's a great movie. My second favorite Michael Myers movie. On place number 2, we have the original Halloween from 1978, directed by John Carpenter. This movie is a masterpiece. It defined a whole genre. Back in the late 70s, it defined the slasher movie. So many other franchises and movies were following in the footsteps of Halloween. It introduced us to Michael Myers, a new iconic horror figurine. Back in the 30s and 40s, you had Frankenstein's monster and Count Dracula, you had the Mummy, and so many awesome monsters. And in the 80s, they introduced us to new characters like Michael Myers, for instance, or Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, Chucky, Pinhead, and so on and so forth. But introducing this awesome character. It has Donald Pleasence, again, one of my favorite actors, and I think this is his best movie, his best Halloween movie. And it's not the best John Carpenter movie, but it's a great and solid John Carpenter movie. I love the atmosphere, especially the first half, seeing the suburbs, seeing the Halloween atmosphere, and setting up Michael Myers and what's about to happen. That's awesome. I love the music. Again, John Carpenter composed the music here. And it's my favorite Michael Myers Halloween movie and my second favorite Halloween movie. And now you ask yourself, what is on place 1 if this is my favorite Michael Myers movie? As you remember the time chart that we had here, explaining all the timelines of Halloween, there's this one movie standing on its own, which is Halloween 3 Seasons of the Witch from 1982. This is my favorite movie with the name Halloween in the title. And now you're kind of confused. Well, back then they wanted to release a Halloween movie once a year, and each and every movie was supposed to be just one single story on its own, like a vampire movie, a ghost movie, and so on and so forth. So it was supposed to be a movie series, like in the manner of Goosebumps or stuff like that. But Michael Myers was so famous and so popular that they had to include him in the second movie, and then they were trying to break the mold and say, now we're doing our idea with having a soul-standing Halloween movie every year. But back then, unfortunately, 1982, the movie wasn't well received. It got lots of bad reviews. Fans didn't like that Michael Myers wasn't in there at all. and yeah, it was a flop on the box office. But years later, people were coming back to this movie and saw that it really is a great horror movie, a great Halloween movie. It tells a cool story with so many elements in them, like running away from something, the besieged theme, we have the detective theme, like trying to get behind something mysterious and eerie. It's such a cool 80s movie with a great atmosphere, and it has my favorite movie gang in here. You have John Carpenter in here with Alan Howarth creating the music and being producers. You have Deborah Hill in here, Tommy Lee Wallace directing, I think it was his directing debut. You have even Jamie Lee Curtis in a slight small guest appearance here. And yeah, I love the atmosphere, I love the balance between like 80s atmosphere and thrilling story and cool practical effects. It's not only one of my favorite horror movies and Halloween movies of all time, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. And it's my favorite Halloween movie. And now you would say, okay, if you just want to know what my favorite Michael Myers movies are, this is my list here. Just take away the first one and you have my favorite Michael Myers movies. My favorite one is the original from 1978 Halloween. Then we have Age 20, Halloween 7, and then we have Halloween 2018. These are my 3 favorite Michael Myers movies. But yeah, my favorite Halloween movie is Halloween 3, Seasons of the Witch. So that's it for this episode here. I really hope you enjoyed this. And yeah, I'll have many more projects planned for the future. And I, of course, will rank all the Friday the 13th movies, all the Nightmare on Elm Street movies in the future. So yeah, stay tuned for that. But for now, I really hope you enjoyed this. I see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.